Adventure Time was a show that appeared on Cartoon Network, which followed the adventures of Finn and Jake, a human boy and his dog with stretching abilities, also joined by the likes of Marceline, Beemo, Ice King, Princess Bubblegum, and many more. This show had great characters, animation, amazing soundtrack, it was funny, and even today it remains in many people's hearts, including mine. This show was great at doing many different areas, such as drama, comedy, romance, storytelling, and creativity. And I also respect the creators for wanting to go there at certain times.
Dude, let's kill the horse.
But one major thing I've noticed is that Adventure Time was really creepy at certain moments. I rewatched it to refresh my mind. This show, in my opinion, has a lot of horror elements that ranges from scary, creepy, disturbing, unsettling, and that makes me like it even more. One of my favorite things in horror is atmosphere. I love the world of Adventure Time, the whole fantasy elements draw me in, the wacky details, environments, seeing all the different worlds, kingdoms, and realms. Death in Bloom was the episode where Finn and Jake go into the underworld to get Death's help because they killed a flower.
Hey, I don't know who you are, mister, but I don't like your attitude. Help! Somebody!
An underworld where the dead thrive, skeletons running around that want to eat your flesh, twisted forms of monsters that dominate. It's not really that creepy to me, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. It gets further diving into the Nightosphere, a dimension where Marceline's dad rules it, a place where demons live. It is essentially a literal hell just by the looks of it. Demons walk around being ruled by Hunts and Avadir, who soon passes the torch to Marceline by tricking her, being turned into a monstrous form to rule.
Marceline, no one leaves the Nightosphere!
Body horror is something that has appeared in the show. They don't hold back on it, and I kind of respect them for it. We've seen many forms of monsters and demons that are pretty scary, but some episodes focus on the disturbing nature of what's going on with individual parts. Ricardio the Heart Guy was an evil heart, specifically Ice King's heart, who came alive and wanted Princess Bubblegum's heart for himself. He was kind of freaky when he first appeared, but it got even worse when he came back. He created a pair of arms and legs for himself for Bubblegum, and it's kind of disturbing to look at. But for me, it has kind of that cursed factor to it. It's not even just like the appearance. When you look back at it as an adult, Ricardio was a fucked up individual.
And make out with it.
So we all know Ice King, the skinny, crazy, Princess Bubblegum obsessed with capturing princesses, which sounds bad on its own, but he somehow manages to up the ante by literally taking women's body parts and turning it into a fucked up Frankenstein monster wife. This episode didn't really scare me, but it's one of those episodes when you really think about the actual plot, it's some messed up shit. It also shows you just how deranged the Ice King was back then, although it could be worse. The Ice King may be a serial kidnapper, but at least he's not a serial predator.
She's 13 years old now.
Oh, dang it! Well, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable!
Lemongrab. Lemongrab, Lemongrab. Lemongrab is, by himself, very unsettling. Ever since his first appearance, he's just unnerving. And it would go further from there. At one point, he was getting more and more unhinged, and Bubblegum created a clone for him. At first, it seemed fine, but in the All Your Fault episode, they apparently needed more candy food because they were using it to create life, the kind of life that looks like it wants to die. Lemongrab's home would soon become a literal hell for all these poor lemon souls. A lot of them look really messed up and misshapen. What What makes Lemongrab unsettling to watch is his unpredictability. He seems like he can go off at any moment, and these moments are very unhinged. So unhinged that he literally started eating his clone because of the doll they were playing broke. Some episodes pass by and Lemongrab has turned into a dictator under his control. His clone, however, being the opposite, the one that seems to have a mind and soul for the lemon people. At this point, he has basically turned into Nikocado Avocado. Literally. He eats his twin clone and devours an escaped prisoner. The entire story of Lemongrab descending into insanity sounds like a horror movie by itself. He becomes a monster inside and out. I love monsters. They're one of my favorite things to watch. Adventure Time is filled with them. One of the most famous enemies that they've gone up against was the Lich, a being that represents pure evil and chaos and a literal plague upon this world. The Lich was trapped and encased until this snail that appears throughout the show was mind-controlled and used to free the Lich. Finn and Jake would attempt to stop him, but are interrupted by obstacles.
Princess? No!
Oh no.
The Lich itself looks like death. You really get a sense just how evil it is when it's able to mind control Finn. Even when he is defeated, that's only the start of it. It makes its way into Princess Bubblegum, which at the start of Mortal Folly, she seems to be calm and collected, but the whole episode turns into Exorcist real quick. Bubblegum soon turns into a giant monster in which Ice King freezes to save the day.
Okay, I didn't kill her this time. Everybody saw that, right?
Kind of. I think the most disturbing moment with the Lich is when he kills Billy. Billy being the hero that Finn looked up to, only for the Lich to play Finn like a fool and wears Billy like a costume. Next up is probably the one thing that freaked out people the most, the deer. In the episode No One Can Hear You, Finn and Jake are trying to stop a deer running rampant. This deer is so strangely strong that it breaks Finn's legs and throws him into unconsciousness. He wakes up and finds the kingdom a ghost town, except for Jake, who seems to be losing his mind. Jake tells Finn that everyone is hiding for a surprise party, which Finn believes at first, but grows more suspicious. And he soon realizes that his friend has completely lost it and he escapes into the sewer. He comes across all the candy people encased in sap. At first, it seems like Jake was the one who did this horrific act. Finn manages to snap him back into reality, and Jake thinks he's the one that did this until the big reveal.
Free deer!
This was the one creepy moment that freaked out a lot of fans of the show. I think what made it scary is that it's such a curveball and you didn't really expect it. They took something that looked normal and made it terrifying. Gulb is a being that represents chaos and disorder. This red being that comes into the world. A being that seems beyond our understanding and is above the actions that we take. When this guy appeared, I got Cthulhu vibes from it. That cosmic Lovecraftian horror that emerges from him. A being that seems that we can't destroy, only fend off and delay. What's also really interesting is that in the first episode, they go from fighting candy zombie people to fighting a godlike entity. That, in my opinion, is one of the things that made Adventure Time great. An entire fantastical world that is happy, strange, and has weird places, but behind that are the horrors that wait.